you are very new to this world of K-pop and Korean drama, seemed like wonderland. You watched many dramas, a particular actor caught your eyes, or you stand the K-pop band, a particular member caught your eyes. First you googled them, then followed them on Instagram, liked every photo you could. If he is a K-pop artist, you may follow every post he makes on Weverse. You started to watch videos about your bias available on YouTube. At the very beginning, you found it very entertaining. They're funny, they're fluffy. You also noticed they work really hard. You find them inspirational and admiration grown in your heart like a flame of fire. Now there is admiration, there is attraction. You never knew when these two became an obsession. You began to think you know them very well. Expectation also joined the chart. You expect that your bias will be very transparent with you. Then suddenly a news comes out claiming your bias has been in a relationship or is in a relationship. A disbelief sparks in your eyes. Cause you thought your bias would tell you about this, or you didn't expect your bias would date this person. Some of you oppressed your emotion and congratulate them. Some of you do nothing but commenting my best wishes for you, but it hurts. And you see a group of people come to you saying, grow up kid, be mature, don't be jealous, etc. etc. If you belong to the former or latter category, then this video is for you. The major reason of you being hurt by your bias is the unhealthy obsession you have with your bias. In this video, we'll talk about the reasons what causes the unhealthy obsession and obviously how not to get hurt by your bias. First and foremost, acknowledge that maturity is unrelated to obsession. If an individual is fixated on their favorite celebrity, it does not necessarily indicate that this person is immature. And a lot of times, it's not about the other person. The focus is not on the celebrity but on internal or external circumstances affecting you. You can't obsess over someone you already have. Obsession occurs due to an unattainable desire. You tend to get obsessed with someone who is unavailable physically or emotionally. This is why it's more common to become obsessed with celebrities. They're often perceived as unattainable or untouchable. Obsession usually comes from a form of escapism. You are trying to escape. When life becomes overwhelming, be it due to academic pressures, unsupportive parents, or a demanding boss, or overall chaos, simply when life sucks. It's very natural to feel powerless and even blame oneself. But the fact that we lack the necessary resources to cope effectively. In such situation, escapism can serve as a coping mechanism, a way to temporarily distract ourselves from the harsh realities and find consolation. It is not just about admiring your bias, it is a means of escape. Another one is past trauma, especially childhood trauma. When you were a child, your parents didn't give you the attention you needed. Children who didn't receive the care fantasize about a better life. Maybe their parents were alcoholic or they were aggressive, so they never get to experience the nurturing love they always wanted. And as they were just children, they were powerless, so they start to fantasize about someone who can rescue them. They fantasize how the ideal life would be. And if you didn't experience this trauma, maybe your childhood was healthy, then you can experience this trauma in your teenage life or 20s and so on. This trauma comes from past relationships, whether they're romantic or just a toxic friendship, can deeply impact how we perceive love and connection. When people lack the nurturing love, validation, or security in their early life, a Cinderella complex is built in their subconscious mind. The Cinderella complex refers to a pattern where someone may idealize the concept of being saved or rescued by a romantic partner or someone they perceive as their hero. This Cinderella complex leads them to yearn for an idealized version of love and care. And when these individuals can't find this ideal person in real life, and it's very normal because this ideal person or ideal love life does not exist in reality. Now they turn to fictional characters or celebrities. In K-pop and Korean drama world, this favorite celebrity is called as bias. Their bias serve as a source through which they project their desire for love, validation, and security. The Cinderella complex can also be influenced by what you watch, such as a Korean drama named It's Okay to Not Be Okay. In this show, a woman who endured abuse from her mother throughout her childhood continues to be haunted by these traumatic experiences in adulthood, and the male lead ultimately rescues her from the misery of her past, mirroring the theme of seeking salvation and love from another person. Another example is the Korean drama called Business Proposal, where a millionaire falls in love with a middle-class girl, profoundly transforming her life. It may sound funny, but yes, in reality many girls dream of marrying billionaire or millionaire, although logically it's nearly impossible. So childhood trauma, teenage traumas, relationship traumas are the apparent reasons of obsession. If you have experienced any of this, keep in mind you are not at fault. Here are 3 ways so that you don't get hurt next time when your bias will collaborate with opposite genders or date somebody. Number 1. Convince yourself your bias is not perfect. They are not flawless. They are flawed too. People create an idealized version of someone they admire. This idealized version often overlooks flaws or imperfections, creating a somewhat perfect image in our minds. However, this idealized version is not the true self of the person we admire. Just think about it. If the K-pop stars and the Korean drama actors were so perfect, then why their relationship spans are so short? I will give you an example of Song Joong-ki and Song Hye-kyo. Many girls were jealous for Song Joong-ki, and after some months we have seen he decided to divorce his wife without her consent. Would you date somebody? Would you want a partner like him? And if you are a boy watching this video, do you want a partner like Song Hye-kyo who will not spend time with your family, who will not accept your mom? 90% of you will say no. Your bias is not unicorn. Every human being is flawed, and your bias is just a normal human being. Number 2, your bias is not your savior. I have said this before, it's more about you than the person you're obsessing over. If you are having a Cinderella complex, know that no one's gonna save you, not even your bias. Your bias has their own lives, challenges, and limitations to deal with. I understand they inspire you, they entertain you, they make you laugh, but expecting them to be your hero or to save you from your own difficulties is unrealistic. Come out from your Cinderella complex. Do you know how many K-pop artists are fighting with mental health issues in silence? Here I will mention Kim Taehyung's words. He said, "We are working on love yourself, but we could not love ourselves." Number 3, start making a life you need. Point out what makes you escape from reality. Ground yourself to reality. Try to improve areas where you feel you lack. When you actively work towards your aspirations, you naturally become more focused on your own journey, which can help detach you from unnecessary obsession. You will understand that fulfillment comes from achieving your own milestones and not from constantly chasing unrealistic ideals. Do rest, but don't escape. Once you achieve a healthy detachment from your bias, I can assure you that you are not gonna hurt by your bias anymore.